So as a real estate agent, I see lots of mistakes. I go into Victorian houses and they've ripped out all the beautiful double hung timber windows and put aluminium window frames. And you go, oh, you know, that doesn't work. What's the greatest mistake you see when you're looking at other people's gardens?
I think the biggest mistake Australians made is the sense of scale. I think they really struggle with the sense of scale. So,
what do you mean? What do you mean?
Well,
sense
they
of scale?
underscale things. They make things too small. They put too many things in a too smaller area. So, you know, getting a good sense of scale, maybe overscaling if you're not quite sure about it. But definitely the problem I see in Australian gardens is scale.
So if you plant a garden and it's starting, you know, a juvenile garden,
Yeah.
how long does it take to mature so that it's at the vision that you wanted the garden? So is it 5 years, 10 years?
5 to 8 years, I think, for a good garden is about the maturity.
So when they put it in, they might go, oh, gee, bit small or a bit skint.
Yeah.
But as it matures, it reaches
It does.
full potential.
Yeah. But of course, most people are very impatient these days, and so that's why established trees have become so popular. So, and you can buy trees.
Just a function of money.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Just how much you want to spend.
So cultures have a big effect on gardens, and my understanding is you've done gardens in Australia,
Yep.
USA,
Yep.
United Kingdom,
Yep.
New Zealand.
Lots in New Zealand. I'm doing 2 big jobs in New Zealand at the moment.
Have you ever done one in Japan?
Never in Japan. I've never even visited Japan.
Where else have you done
France.
gardens?
I've done quite a few gardens in France.
Whereabouts? In the south of France? or-
Saint-Tropez, Provence. I've just finished doing one in. The UK, like you said, I've done a lot in the Hamptons. I love working in the Hamptons, that's just outside New York. One in Los Angeles a couple of years ago.
And so the gardens you're doing in the Hamptons, are they like the movie you see, Sabrina? Where you just massive expanse and you walk in and it's like, wow.
The good thing about the Hamptons is they have big estates. So you can have a big sense of scale there. So a bit like the one off Sabrina, and As Good as It Gets. Remember that movie with that wonderful
As Good
garden?
as It Gets.
Yeah.
That was
filmed
with
in
Jack
one-
Nicholson.
That was filmed in a garden next to one that I'd done.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And how long were you over there for doing something like that? You're back and forth a few times?
You go backwards and forwards quite a few times, but the good thing about America is they have big teams of people. So they have, you know, Mexicans, 200 Mexicans come in and do a garden in one hit. So you can literally put a garden in 2 each time.
Yeah, well, that's the way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I know a lot of your clients are extremely high-end, you know, people in business or movie stars, actors, business people, so on and so forth. So when they call you in to do a garden, do they give you a free hand? And you just present to them and you say, nah, that's what you've got to have? Or do they really get involved in it? Or they just say, give me a Paul Bangay special?
The people who deal in high-end real estate and gardens and houses usually travel a lot, so they're quite well experienced. So they like to have some input because they've got a fair idea of what they want. They've gone overseas, they've seen the style of garden or house they want, so they know particular areas of what they want to do. So they do have some input. It's never a fait accompli. You never go, this is the plan, we're going to put it in. So there is consultation between them.
So I'm sure everyone would like to know, how do you relax? So if you're away from the garden, like when you're just hanging out, what do you like to do?
Relaxing for me is going out to my place in the country,
Yep.
working in the garden, sitting by the pool, eating outside. I've created so many places I can go sit outside.
By yourself, or do you have groups of friends over, or
it could be by
are you
myself.
a hermit, Paul?
No, I'm definitely not a hermit, but I can go up there and be by myself. I take the dogs up there, I relax by myself, or I have all my friends up there. It's being in the country, that's relaxing for me.
That's what you like.
Yeah.
Favourite restaurant in Melbourne, Paulio?
Baby.
You love Baby?
Love Baby.
Breakfast, lunch and dinner?
Breakfast, lunch and dinner. My best friend runs it, so I've got to say that.
Well, it is a great restaurant. How do you have your coffee?
Flat white, 1 sugar.
Not skinny?
No,
1 sugar.
1 sugar.
Who's your favourite actor?
Favourite actor is Maggie Smith. By far, Maggie Smith.
Maggie Smith. And favourite song on the radio?
Don't You Worry, Child. Swedish House Mafia.
So I remember talking to you many years ago and you told me what your favourite tree was or your favourite plant. Do you remember what that was?
No. Oak tree?
No. I know what your favourite colour is.
Green.
You have to be green, wouldn't it? Do you know what you told me your favourite tree was?
What was it?
Atilia.
Yeah, and look, here we are. We've got them here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we'll have a quick look out in the garden and show you a Paul Bangay garden. So Paul's just noticed something up in the fence there. What are they, Paul?
They're tawny frogmouth owls, and they're the best possum protectors you can have. They eat the possums.
So this is the ingredients, or these are the ingredients of a very typical Paul Bangay garden. Talk us through what you've done here, Paul.
So one of the most important things is this pleached hedge. I love doing pleached hedge.
What do you mean pleached?
Well, pleached is a hedge on stilts. So you can see here, this is the tilias you spoke about before, and you can see you've got the bare trunk and then the hedge is floating on the top. And it does a couple of things. It divides the space but still lets you to see underneath. And then we've got the gardenias underneath, so gardenias for fragrance. I love gardenias for fragrance. And of course the box hedge. And the box hedge is laid out in an articulated form, this key pattern form, so it creates interest in the garden. And then the walls, of course, have got these spoiled fruit trees on them, so you've got something productive. And the next best thing, of course, is the wisteria growing up the house. I love wisteria on the house.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? So this is beautiful. What have you done here? Talk about this.
So the most important thing here is the paving. It's a very textural paving. It's called in situ pebble paving, and you actually get each pebble and stick them in one by one. Quite labour intensive, but gives you a great effect. The other important thing is the use of the ground cover, the Trachliospernum asiaticum, which makes a great ground cover. It flowers.
It's like a lawn, isn't it?
It is, but you get the flowering as well. And of course the viburnum is the hedge.
And so over here, what do you call these?
These are the Magnolia grandifloras, and again they've been pleached into this sort of pyramid shape, and of course you get the flowers, again the beautiful scent from those.
And behind there?
We've got the Portuguese laurel. So the important thing here is you've got the layers. So you've got the box, the laurel and the magnolia, and again you've got the wisteria draping in the garage.
Looks fab, doesn't it?
No, it looks good.
It really is beautiful and very pleasant, very simple.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it so good, isn't it? The simplicity.
The simplicity, the mass planting and the scale.
So, thanks Paul. I've really enjoyed talking to you today, learning more about the Paul Bangay garden.
Pleasure.